Hello, everybody. This is Jeremy Estes, and I'm here with my cohort, Mr. Jeremy Nichols.
Hey everyone.
We are going to this webinar. We're going to walk you through how to build a high converting survey funnel using bucket.io, and we're also going to be using our segmentation funnel tool for this process. So, real quick before we get kicked off, Mr. Nichol, can you please let me know if people can hear me? So if you can hear me talking and see my screen, can you just say all good in the chat? And then we will press on. Anything? Can they hear? Can they see?
Yep, looks like we're all good to go.
Awesome. All right, guys. So this call should take us anywhere usually between 30 to 40 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build a segmentation or a survey funnel out using our segmentation tool. It's probably one that you guys have seen before. It's the Ryan Levesque Ask Book, the free book funnel. And in that process, I'm just going to be pointing out all the things that you can do to build your own high converting survey funnel. We're going to touch on some things that aren't included in that specific funnel that you can do in yours to possibly improve conversions even further. And then at the end of the call, what we're going to do is set you up with the link so that if you are building your own survey funnel now, you'll have an opportunity to get on like a short 20, 25-minute one-on-one call with a bucket specialist to get you over either whatever hump you may be having or just kind of bounce ideas off of so that you can get your funnel up and running in the shortest amount of time possible. So stick around for that. Like I said, we'll do that at the end. We'll just kind of make sure, answer. We will do a Q&A, but for all those extra questions that require the personal attention, we'll give you a link so that you can add yourself to the schedule. All right. So let's push on here. The big idea of this class is to let you know and make sure by the end of it, that would be a phone, is to make sure by the end of it, you know exactly how to build a high converting survey funnel. And then again, like I said, how to analyze the statistics and the reports so that if that funnel needs to be optimized, you'll be able to do it quickly and easily. All right. So segmentation funnels, that is the tool. That's what it's called inside of bucket.io when you're building out a survey funnel. Okay. The workflow for building or using the segmentation funnel tool works like this. You build it, you add your design tweaks onto it, you configure it to be integrated with your email provider or add your pixels, tracking code, and all those things, and then you publish it and you're ready to go and take it to the world. Today, we're going to focus mainly on build. Okay, we'll push one all the way through to completion, but we're not going to spend a whole lot of time in design or configuring, simply because we have other trainings for that. Today, I just want to show you how to get one built so that you can go and do likewise. There are 5 different types of segmentation funnels. It's all the same kind of segmentation funnel, but it's basically how you plan on displaying it out to the public. There's the full page. There's a button so that if you just want to integrate a pop-up survey funnel onto an existing either landing page or sales page or blog post, wherever you're getting traffic, you can do that with the button. There's an entry page, splash page, and then an exit pop-up. Those are all the options. But on this call, we're going to do a full pager so that you could see exactly what it looks like to build the survey funnel 100% inside of bucket.io so that you could drive traffic to it. It doesn't require all the extra builders and so on. The first step of the process, as I mentioned earlier, is to build the thing. And that's where we're going to spend a majority of our time today. So the workflow for build, or the different elements of build, is a welcome page, and that's going to be your standard landing page. So if you're sending cold traffic or traffic that you haven't had a chance to pre-frame your survey for, you'll create a landing page for them. Then that's where you'll do your selling. Then you've got your questions. That's going to take up the majority of the survey. That's where they will answer your questions and you will push them towards a solution. Then you've got your email capture, where you will take your contact information and send that off to your email marketing service. And then you've got your outcomes. And these are the pages that your audience will see after they've answered your questions, and you are going to diagnose their problem with your solution. So let's get going into welcome pages. The welcome page, like I said before, it's the first page they see when they visit your segmentation funnel. You can launch a segmentation funnel without a welcome page, but again, for the process of this demonstration, while I show you how to build a high converting survey funnel, we're going to take the idea that you don't already have a landing page or a welcome page, and we're going to build that inside the app itself. As you can see on this screen, you can pretty much customize every element of the page. And as I'm walking you through it, I'm actually going to take the content you see here. I'm going to show you how to apply it in so that it looks good, and how you want to kind of be thinking about it before you go in and just dive in to start building it on your own. So why don't we go ahead and jump into that now. So I'm going to dive over into bucket.io. I'm going to go ahead and create this new segmentation funnel. And if this is your first time on one of these classes, or if you haven't had the opportunity to get inside of bucket.io, here I'm going to take you to the screen you first see when you first log in. This is, whenever you first log into bucket.io, you see a screen that looks like this. Create a new discovery, create a new segmentation funnel, or create new audiences. We are going to create a new segmentation funnel, but if you don't, let's say you want to look at some of your existing ones, what you'll do is you'll come up here to the top and click segment, and it'll take you to the screen that looks like this, so that you can look at your existing funnels, and then you can also create a segmentation funnel from here. So typically what I'll do when I log in, if I'm going to build a new one, I almost never use the one from the dashboard screen. I almost always click on the segmentation funnel, the menu at the top, just because I'm used to doing that. Okay, so like I said before, we're going to build a full page segmentation funnel here. And on this one, we're going to call it the Ask Book Demo. And so getting right into it, like I said before, we're going to start with the welcome page, all right? And to create a welcome page, you'll notice that over on the left, you've got this little box that says welcome page. You're going to drag that box over here to the drag and drop welcome page. And this is where we'll begin the process of just building the page out. Now, what I've done here is created the content in advance, so I'm not sitting here in front of you trying to type up copy. I highly recommend taking this approach anyways. Be thinking about what your copy is going to be. Get it organized in a way that you can just take it and plug it directly into your funnel when it's time to build it. So we're going to, I'm just going to copy this here. And I'm going to paste it right here. I'm going to do the same thing for the subheadline. So bounce back over here. I've already got the subheadline pre-written. I'm going to paste that in there too. Now, here's the cool thing, and this is, again, this is the first part of when you're talking about a high converting survey funnel. If you are going to use a landing page like this, like a welcome page, you definitely want to use multimedia. We keep the template very simple for these, because simple is what works when it comes to asking people a bunch of questions. It doesn't require a bunch of different layouts. But what you will notice here is that you have the option of using either an image or a video. Again, you can turn it off if you want to, if you just don't have one, but I highly recommend using some sort of video or image uh, on this landing page if you're going to be sending traffic to it. And so in this case, we're going to be using a Facebook video, and we're going to just paste that right in here where it says video embed. Now, the cool thing about Bucket is that any type of video that offers an embed code, you can use that on in this app. So you can, if it's YouTube, Vimeo, Wistia, Facebook, anyone that has embed code, you can plug it right in here, and it'll put it in just like this, and it looks great. So we're gonna see, is there any body text? Yep, got some just short body text here. I'm going to paste that in. We're going to get the call to action copy. I'm going to paste that in. And then we're going to, is there some sub body? Yep, got a little sub body text here. We're going to paste that in as well. So as you can see.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Serious apologies for interrupting, but could you just make sure that the screen is as big as it possibly can? We have one user who's unable to expand the screen and not getting the full picture. But if you're maxed out, then it may be something with the software.
I don't know. I can
it looks fine on my end, but if anybody else is experiencing that problem too, just let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I went ahead and took it down a little bit. I don't want to get too small because I gotta. I want to be able to make sure I can see it. But yeah, if there's anything.
Oh no, we want it to be full screen for sure. Yeah, it was just I think small for this particular user, but that's all right. I think you can go ahead and I'll continue to discuss with her on the back end. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem. So once you set all this up, as you can see, it gives you've got a small preview here, so you can kind of see how it's looking as you're going through. Right, and it looks. This is how it'll look once you go live with it. So what you're going to do at the end is just hit Save Page, and you see how it's got the welcome screen or the welcome lit in green. That tells us that we've got our welcome page set up, and then now it's time to go into the other parts of the workflow. So let me jump back over here. And talk to you a little bit about segmentation questions, because this is the core of the funnel, right? Like this is the difference between just a regular funnel with a landing page and a thank you page and a download or an opt-in. This is the difference between those types of funnels and a survey funnel. This is where the magic happens, so to speak. And what's going on here is that by asking your prospects and your audience questions, you can diagnose what bucket those prospects fall into, and then serve them for those higher conversions. So it's not like a one-size-fits-all. You're helping them identify which part of your solution works best, so they're more likely to take you up on it. And again, that's where we get this high conversions from. So there's a couple of different things you can do in Bucket to help you optimize and get the most out of those conversions. You can customize your opt-in, and you'll be customizing your outcome pages. And like I said, all of that works to your advantage as a marketer, because again, it's like you're reading the mind of the person. You're telling them that you solved the problem that they just told you they had. We're not going to go too deep into every single one of these functions. I will show them to you, but as we go through them, I want you to be thinking in your mind, man, I could be doing something similar to this. And any questions you have, make sure you get it onto the Q&A. And even from there, if we don't get to it in the Q&A, be thinking of how can we help you on these one-on-one calls? Because again, that's exactly why we're hosting this class, is to get you thinking and using bucket.io in a way that will get you the absolute most conversions. So back to the types of questions that you can ask. Really, you can ask any type of question, but some of the ones that really stand out and really work for you in a survey funnel model are like your bucket questions, for instance, and that's where your main segmentation typically occurs. So if you're going to be segmenting your email list or your retargeting audience, like the bucket question is typically where those start to happen. Also in the product question, when you start figuring out, okay, what am I going to sell this person? Again, all these things end up tying together. You've also got the grease the wheels questions. Now, grease the wheels is kind of, what that means is if you've got some difficult, maybe personal type questions in your survey, maybe if you're in the health related fields or relationship, you want to kind of get the ball rolling. Well, a grease the wheels question is just a real super simple question that someone can answer right off the bat. Like, are you a man or a woman, right? Or anything like a yes or no. A grease the wheels question is perfect for that. You can also ask demographic questions if you want to identify demographics of the people that are coming into your funnel. The different elements that you have access to as far as the questions and the way that you can lay them out in your survey funnel. You can do the short text, which is like the one-liners. You can do long text, which is for like the big paragraphs where you can put open-ended questions. You've got the radio buttons, which is the questions where you can only answer a single answer. And then you've got the checkbox where you can answer all of the options by ticking all the boxes. So those are the elements. That's what you have the ability to do inside of bucket.io in the segmentation section, in the survey section. So we're going to jump into one of those now. I'm going to be building, so this funnel itself is a single segmentation funnel. So it's a single survey question. All we're going to be doing is asking one question, and based on what that person says, we'll be segmenting the email lists. And I'm going to walk you through doing that right now. So to do that, to have a segmentation, what you'll be using is a radio button. And so what you'll do is you'll grab where it says radio button on the left, drag that to the drag and drop questions, and here's where we will configure that. I've got the question pre-built already. So as you can see here, where it says question name, you'll see where it says, yes, Ryan, please send me my copy of Ask. So basically the way that this is going to look is, jump back over here. As you can see, I'm not typing in like a question name here. This is where we're actually applying copy. So this font is going to be larger than the rest of the font on the screen. So again, this is where you'll kind of, as you start to learn and use bucket.io, you'll start to see, okay, well in this section I need my biggest copy here, so that's what you would put in your question name. We're going to dive back over here and grab the question description. Okay, so this is where you'll actually ask your question. Some people, they'll do it in the top question name. Some people will put it in the question description. It's totally up to you. If your funnel is looking like this one, where you're basically walking them through the steps, that first question, it's totally okay to put your question either in the description, or you could do it in the top. It's depending on how you decide to write your copy. And then what we'll do is we'll start adding options here. And I'm just going to copy these out. I'm going to come back to the Zapier tag in a second, because I'm not going to do a lot of talk on Zapier today, but I do want to just give you an idea of what that is. So we've got hitting goals and deadlines. As you can see, I have done this for I'm going to do KGF. I think I could probably just do, yeah, look at that. K, G. This is how they're going to give it to him. Feeling overwhelmed. What to do next? Okay. So I'm going to save this real quick, and then I'm going to come back into it. I'm going to show you something real fast. So if you ever need to edit, all you got to do is just click on it, and it will open up. So you see where it says add Zapier tag? I'm going to pull this Zapier tag out of here. I'm going to explain this to you real quick. Again, I'm not going to go into a deep tutorial on integrating your email service provider with Zapier, But I do want to explain this to you, just so you understand how we're using it and why it's there, what the Zapier tags mean. So the Zapier tag for this question, what's going to happen is when somebody fills out the lead capture page, bucket.io is going to send Zapier all the information that that person filled out, okay? And if there's a Zapier tag here, what bucket.io is going to do is it's going to tell Zapier, hey, this person filled out the roadblock question with this answer. So let's just say hitting my goals and deadlines. So that gets passed over to Zapier, and then Zapier tells your email service provider, hey, wherever you want this field to go, here's the information. This person said they are hitting my goals and deadlines. So you can add it in a tag, you can add it in a field on your email service provider. It's different for everyone. That's why I don't want to go too deep into it right now. So, Infusionsoft is different than ActiveCampaign, which is different than MailChimp. So again, I'm not going to go deep into it, but that's what the Zapier tag does. It tells Zapier what answer the person gave on that question, and then Zapier, you can configure Zapier to tell your email service provider so you can do your list segmentation based on the responses. I'm going to save that. And later on, if we have time, I'll come back and show you a couple of other things on the survey, on the survey questions. But for now, since I said this is a single question survey funnel, we're just going to leave this one here, and we're going to dive back over here and go into the next step, which is building out the actual lead capture page. Okay. Once your prospect has answered all your questions, obviously, if you can, get their contact information, and especially if they're not currently a subscriber, so that you can begin marketing to them based on their answers. You can customize the lead capture page based on the answers given. Again, since this is just a one-question quiz, we're not going to go too deep into that. I will show you how it's done once we get through the whole funnel. And then from there, if you have questions, we can either answer those on the call, or we can address those in the one-on-one call if you schedule one at the end of this this training class. So again, if this looks familiar, the lead capture page elements, it's exactly the same as configuring up your welcome page. Okay, so you can do the headline, subhead, image, body text, all that stuff on the lead capture page. And we're going to jump through one right now. And so the way you get to the lead capture page screen is you'll come over here and grab the green lead capture box and click on that. And an error is not found. I wonder what that means. I'm going to delete that. Just looks like something weird happened there. I don't know. I've never seen that before. So some of these details that are up here, I will come back and address them at the end of this, after we get this thing built. But let's dive in. Let's go ahead and build this page out real quick. Like I said, I've got the content for it already. So what we're going to do is grab this headline, and this is a super simple opt-in page, right? Because we did most of the selling on the welcome screen. So this final opt-in page is, again, very basic. We're going to talk about shortly kind of if you didn't take all the action on the front end to sell, if your main objective was just to get them answering the questions and you feel like you need to do some selling on the back end on the opt-in page, I'm going to show you how to do that in Bucket. Oh, sure. Okay. Let's see this. All right, there's no body copy on this one. We're not going to be asking their name or their phone or other. Gonna put some dots on the end of there. I always do that anyways. And then we're going to paste some basic privacy policy. So one thing to point out real quick, this privacy policy link, you can use like the HTML for links on the screen. And the privacy policy itself links out to their website. So it's not like there's not a privacy policy where you can store inside the app. It'll be on your main website, for instance. So if you do want to include a privacy policy on your opt-in page, you would just need to link to it wherever you have it on your main website. And that is that. All right. So I don't understand what happened with this. Oh, of course, I deleted the wrong one. I probably shouldn't have messed with that. I don't know exactly. I did that, but I will mark it down, and we will continue to move forward. I just did a quick refresh and see if maybe, yeah. All right. So, anyways, I won't make you guys sit there and watch me rebuild that thing all over again. It looked like there was just some kind of weird hang on there, a refresh got rid of it. Okay, so anyways, going back, the next step, after you create your lead capture page, you will be taken to, your next step is to create your outcome pages. And if you're not familiar with outcome pages, these are the pages that you're going to present to your audience based on the answers that they give in the survey, right? This is your chance to either prescribe a solution or whatever their situation is, base it off of that. So you continue the customization process all the way through to the end. And most of the time, what you're going to do is use the outcome page inside of bucket.io, but you also, if you already have sales pages made for, let's say, different segments of your market, you can use those as well. So you can just do a redirect, and it'll send them directly to whatever your current sales page is, and we're going to walk through exactly how to do that. Again, you can build the outcome page inside the app, or you can use your existing sales page, and it's just called an external URL redirect, and we'll show you how to set that up. Again, if this looks familiar, that's because it is exactly the same builder that we've used before, same stuff. So we're going to, real quick, we're going to jump in. We're going to just build out one outcome page for now, but again, at the end, once we have it all built up, I'll show you exactly how it all works together and how to actually build other outcome pages. So I'm going to jump back in here. We've got headline. And as you can see, remember I was talking about outcome pages, you can either do an external redirect if you currently have a sales page or an offer page, or you already know where you're going to be sending them. If it's already built, you can use external redirect. We are going to use outcome page. And then we're going to create the outcome page here inside of Bucket. Just going to paste this stuff in real quick. Again, the beauty of preparing is, I mean, there's a huge difference when you're sitting there trying to come up with it while you're in the tool versus already having the content ready to go before you even get in there. Here's another cool thing to point out, and we talked about this before. Earlier you saw I used a Facebook video, and this one I'm using a Wistia video. You can use YouTube, you can use anything that has an embed code, and you can see it looks identical, right? It places it in the exact same position, and you're not having to deal with all kinds of crazy code issues. We're going to jump back over here and grab the body copy. We're going to grab some button copy, I think. Find out more. I can just type that in. And then we're going to get the button URL. And I want to talk about that for a second too. So as you can see, this is an Infusionsoft link, right? So what's happening now is this people that hit this page are going to be sent off to a checkout page. You have the opportunity to send your users anywhere you want. If you're going to make the pitch here on this page, if this is where you're going to sell your product, you can absolutely send them directly to your checkout page from here. If you're just helping them to determine that the product that you feel is best for them here, then you can send them off to the product from there. You can literally send anyone anywhere from this outcome page. You just put the link and then tell them what's happening, what they're going to get, and then send them off to that to the offer. And so we're going to save this page. And so now, as you can see, we've got the welcome, the questions, the lead capture, and the outcome are all built. And so now we can kind of play with it and decide, how do we want to make our funnel look. So here's a couple of things that we can do. The first thing we want to do is make sure we map the questions to the outcomes. So earlier I told you we only have one question. And as you can see, we only have one outcome page at this point. This funnel only had a single outcome page because they're doing their segmentation on their email list. But I'm going to show you how it works with just the single question to the single page, and then we'll play around with it a little bit so you can see what would happen if you had multiple outcome pages, and what would happen if you wanted to have them go to a specific outcome page based on the answer that they chose. Again, that's all part of creating a high converting survey funnel, is the option and the ability to do that. So let's dive back into Bucket real quick. So we're back on the build screen here. To map the outcomes or the questions to the outcomes, what you're going to do is you're going to actually go to the question itself, the segmentation question in this case. We're going to open it up. And you can see there's a button here that says Map Outcome. All right? And you've got your answers over here, and then you've got your outcomes over here. In this case, we still only have one outcome. So everything would lead to this outcome page. Okay? And we're going to save. And so now, no matter which one of those questions gets answered, they're going to be directed to that outcome page. But remember, like we talked about earlier, even if you only have a single outcome page, you can still tell your email provider what answer they chose. So if you wanted to create a different, the segmentation in your list and create a different path that way, you can still do it because you had your tag in here, right? But let's say you do have a customized offer page for each option. The way that you would handle that, I'm just going to hit save on that, and I'm going to come down here to, this is our outcomes, right? So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to come over here and you're going to clone the question or the outcome page. All right, so now we've got your copy of Ask is on the way. But let's say we're going to change that to let's take a look at some of these answers. Let's call that knowing what's really working today. So let's come back over here and type in knowing what's really working. So that's going to be the name of our outcome page. It's going to be a custom page, and we're going to use the outcome page here. I'm going to click Edit Outcome Page, and you see where it says your copy of Ask is on the way. Again, if this, I'm just kind of off the cuff on this one, but let's just say we wanted this to be custom. So get ready to know what's working today, right? So again, just to have the different copy and just to make it more customized to the answer that the person made while they were going through the survey. All right, and we'll just save this page. And now, when we go to map outcomes, now you can see there's a knowing what's really working outcome. So what we would want to do here is actually grab this one. You can click the X, and so it'll remove that link to this one, and then you'll drag that one over here, right? And you would do the same with all the others if you had an outcome page specific for each option from the survey funnel. And let me tell you, so this funnel here that we use that we demoed is it's a good converting funnel. They proved it out. They did a lot of work on it, but I can tell you in almost every case, if you can customize that outcome page, you're looking at a much higher rate of conversion, because again, it's proving that the product that you're selling or the solution that you're offering is tailored to the problem the person literally just told you that they had. So we'll save that. Now, if they choose question 2 or answer 2, it will redirect them to this knowing what's really working. And we'll do a demo of that in a second. I do want to, let me make sure we're 35 minutes in. Mr. Nickel, do we have a ton of questions coming in, or because I want to get to a Q&A, I was just going to maybe throw in a couple of other things to look at before we jump off. What are we?
Yeah, actually, where we're at now, we just have one question that's very relevant to where you were going to go anyway, about mapping multiple answers from questions to various outcome pages. I think you were going to demo that right now anyway, right?
I wasn't really going to demo it, so what I'm going to try not to do, guys, because again, it's hard to go take an existing funnel and just start applying stuff and having you get a good lesson out of it. This is really good one-on-one call stuff. So if that's something you have, I'll show you how to do it, but it's not gonna make a lot of sense because the funnel was already built without being multiple questions, multiple forms and stuff like that. So I don't want to be confusing to you. I'll show you. I'm going to show it kind of like what the options are. But for this case, if you've got in your mind like, man, I'm going to have multiple questions and I want to add the scores together to come to a solution. Be thinking about that, and then when we give you out the link to set up a one-on-one call, definitely do that, and that could be part of what we talk about on your call together. I will definitely walk through that though here in a second on how to add multiple questions and apply that to the page. But it's not going to make the only problem I have with doing it, and making it as part of the demo is that the actual funnel. This one that we're working in is a single segmentation. That's the only hesitation I have. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and if you feel like, just for the sake of time to make sure we get to any questions and make sure people have time to sign up for the one-on-one, I think that's all right, because if we need to eliminate confusion, that's probably for the best anyway.
Yeah, I just don't want to get way out in the weeds on it, because again, you guys understand there's like a ton of different ways that you can configure a survey funnel. But let me jump back over there real quick, because it's a good point. It's a good question too. So let's say you've got another segmentation question. Let's say you're just maybe diving a little bit deeper. Let's say you're let's just call it question 2, and then let's just go deeper into option 1. I'm going to copy that. And deeper into option 2, deeper into option 3, and deeper into option 4, right? So I'm going to save these, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the map outcome. And so if they go deeper into option 1, obviously, we're going to take them to option 1 page. Same thing with option 2. And then we'll just, again, since we don't have all the outcome pages for these others, we'll just mark these. So here's the way that this is going to work. So now what's going to happen is, I'm going to save that. So here's what's going to happen now. If I'm going to pull, actually, let me just pull that back up. what did I do? Wrong thing. Um, so here's what's going to happen now. Let's say they answered deeper into option 1 on both. So what's going to happen is it's bucket.io is going to count. There were two questions that went to option 1. So that's the outcome page that we're going to show this person, right? If they did both option 2, so it would be weighted towards the second option. If there's a tie, what they do is it calculates towards the first question that was answered. So basically, the priority is based on where the question is at over here on the screen. Again, we could go really deep into the whole scoring and weighted questions part, and we could do that on a one-on-one call. But for now, that's how it works, right? So you would just, however many questions you would, if you're using the radio button, you would just apply that and use the outcome mapping, and then so the number of times that they choose an answer that best represents that outcome page, that's how they're going to get to it. So hopefully that makes sense and didn't get too confusing. So other than that, I think this is a great place. Or actually, you know what? Why don't we I'm going to give you guys just a preview of what it looks like. We're not going to go through all the full publishing of it, but this is what it looks like once you're done. So you've got your welcome page. You've got your question. You've got your survey here. I'll use the checkbox. And then you've got, remember we just kind of had to mess with that second one. Test. And then, as you can see, they're taken to the outcome page for the question 1 and question 2. And then they click out, and then they're taken to the checkout page. And that, again, that is exactly how you create a high converting survey funnel. So let's take a couple of minutes. We're about 42 minutes after the hour. And if there are any other questions, I'm happy to answer those now. Mr. Nickel, if you could, if you want to go ahead and if you want to schedule, just let us know in the chat, and we'll send you a link to get on the schedule. There's not a lot of spaces available. Again, the idea here is that we do want to work with as many people as possible. Just the resources for that, we're still building up to it, but we want to work with you, get your survey funnel up and running. So if you would like to jump on a 20-minute call or so, and you feel like that would really help you get something up and running quickly, then absolutely let us know, and we'll kick you over a link to the schedule. If you just have a question on some of the stuff we've covered here, just go ahead and ask it now, and we'll do what we can to help answer that for you. So if there's anything coming in, just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer.
Cool. And I sent out the scheduling link right now to everyone via the chat, so you can sign up. And yeah, it looks like we do have a couple questions here, so feel free to throw them out here for Jeremy, the expert, to answer. But all right, so here's one. Can you add photos or background to the pages beyond the welcome page?
Absolutely. And so the way that you do that is in the design menu. So you'll click on design, and this is funnel specific, so each funnel it'll be totally different, right? So you have an option of either adding a logo at the top on the, so what I did here is I clicked on design, right? So you've got your build screen, you've got your build screen, and then you've got design. Click on that, and then you've got the option to put a header, which is your logo, and they've got the maximum file size and the recommended image size, just to have it, so you're not guessing. Oh, crap, I just clicked too far back. You can add footer navigation. You can add where you can put links. If you have a terms of service, uh, privacy policy, you can have it to where it lasts the entire funnel. So through the footer, and it doesn't have to be that lime green color. You could change the colors of the entire template of your entire funnel here. So you can see that's where that green came from, was this was over here on the nav background. So it would be the navigation background. You can change that color. If you want to add pictures to the background, you would just do background image and color. Okay. So general is like through the question to the actual questions. For the welcome page, you could change that background or have it the same. You will need to upload for each one of these. So if it's the same image that you want to use throughout your entire funnel, you would just do that here. And then also,
it would be good, Jeremy, to elaborate on what are the limitations here, if any, about where we can't actually. Is there any limitations to what pages is there any page that we
no,
can't change the background? No limitations. Perfect.
no limitations. So again, the reason that they're broken down like this is some people will want to change the background based on the page, but no, I think every page you can have a background on it. But again, if you want it to be the same background, you will have to open up turn the slider and activate each of them, and then upload it 3 different times. If you want the same image across the entire funnel and the background, this is where you'll do that. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That's perfect. Thank you.
Don't forget, for the love of everything, after you do it, you have to click Save Changes over here in the top right. Can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh yeah, this looks great, and didn't click Save Changes, and I just clicked back and it didn't save. So definitely don't be Jeremy and click the Save button. So that's how you do that. You can, and again, I've talked about this a couple times. I would definitely use multimedia on the landing pages and the outcome pages if possible. Again, that's the biggest needle mover when it comes to your funnel. Like, if you have video or a really great image, a lot of times that's all you need. Like, I've seen some of the best performing funnels simply just have good video, right, and good images. And that's actually, you know what, while we're talking about that, one thing that I didn't bring up earlier was that you can actually use images for your answers. So you can add an image versus just having it 100% text. So if you wanted to take the text down a bit and have an image over it, that separates that separates when it starts coming to getting high activity through your funnel. Using the images is a big time. I mean, it's a differentiator. That's another big time needle mover. So, anybody else? What else we got?
We sure do. And this is a good, interesting question. Just to be clear, if there's a tie, if there's a tie, the outcome page. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. I didn't know for sure. Okay, because I've been muting and unmuting this whole time. So yeah, if there's a tie, the outcome page is weighted to go to the first question of the funnel. So basically, if I guess if the answers are incredibly similar between 2 questions, how is it weighted to go to which outcome page?
No, I'm sorry. So I think okay. So what I said earlier, I think I may have said it in a way that was confusing, and that's, again, it's one of the reasons I like to have an entire call about just this part. But it's the first option, right? So what you've got your answers over here. So the more important, the heavier weighted questions. Yeah, the heavier weighted questions are the ones that are at the top. Um, so in a way, yes, it is based on the higher the question, but it's also the higher the response. If the answer is A, so if it's all A's, or it's A, B, B, it's going to weigh towards the A if it's a tie. A's outweigh B's, basically.
Cool.
So be
Very
thinking
cool.
about that when you're mapping out your questions. You want to keep that. You want to keep them similar, right? You don't want to be switching that around.
Cool. All right. Let's go to another one here, and we have Robert Saltzman. And oh, Robert is asking. I don't believe the next button has been changed yet, as far as I know. Do you know, Jeremy? It's just
What do you mean?
the next button. You know, the 1% of text that can't be changed into another language.
No,
Uh,
no,
that's
yeah,
still the case, unfortunately, right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
if your first question is like a long text or a checkbox or yeah, anything that's not a radio button, then yeah, that it would not. You can't change the language on it. That's
Cool.
the only, like you said, that's the only thing that you don't have access to language changing.
Yeah, that's a good one to bring up though, Robert. So appreciate it. I definitely understand. And it looks like we have another suggestion here and just some other chats that I've been involved with, but no. Oh wait, here we go. Maybe another. I don't think we have. Yeah, no more questions. So does anybody else have any questions? We still have a few minutes left here.
If not, just again, just make sure you get on the schedule, and we're more than happy to give you a call and walk through whatever your specific issues might be. Are we looking good over there?
Yeah, we're looking good here. So, okay, one more here. Okay, so here's a question. There are specific logo colors. So are these options or are colors limited?
Uh,
Logo colors as identified by technical questions.
Honestly, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
okay, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, your logo could be whatever color you want. If you're asking about like the different colors you can use, like as the background or font colors or anything like that, you can make all those changes here. And when I say here, I mean on the design menu, and then come over to background or I'm sorry, color, where it says select a palette or create.
Cool. Yeah, and I think we can go through and address any of that like on a one-on-one as well. Just kind of go down the line about, you know, just go through all of it and make sure that we're definitely understanding the question. We'll be talking in real time anyway during that. So yeah, so okay, definitely sign up and we'll get that taken care of too. Any questions you have? So far, no more questions. But loving the word cloud edition. Thank you, Linda. That is awesome. Yeah, word cloud. We've been waiting for that for a while now.
Oh yeah, for the Discover tool. Oh, that's it's the perfect addition.
Yep.
Again, and so that's where we have our Discover tool class. But once you have those word clouds and once you're ready to go, the segmentation tool that's the one. That's where that's where you're focused on your conversions, right? And so there's a lot of really cool stuff inside of here. And like I said, if you are stuck on anything, just jump on that schedule. Other than that, I think it looks like if we have no more questions, we're going to let you guys jump into Bucket and play around with it a little bit, and we will be in touch with you about your call. And yeah, like I said, it'll be a 20-minute call. We'll go through, help you with whatever your issues are, and get you up and running ASAP. Until then, have a wonderful day, and thanks again for jumping on this webinar with us.
Thank you all.